Too many who know the angles, uncover and untangle all the questions and the webs left out to tangle. Be in 1962, last Wednesday's afternoon, they'll bend your ears with reckless self-abandon. The amazing spider talk, the amazing spider talk. Come swing through the air, sit back and prepare for the amazing spider talk.
Hello, I'm Dapper Dan Gavasan, and I'm the founder and editor of SuperiorSpiderTalk.com.
And I'm Mischievous Mark Ginocchio, founder of the Chasing Amazing blog and author of 100 Things Spider-Man Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us for the all-new Amazing Spider Talk. We hope you enjoy this podcast, this brief little podcast, and we hope that it provides an intelligent conversation between two fans and collectors as we look at the Spider-Man comic universe in a bit of a bigger picture.
Dan, there are no little podcasts. They're just little people, okay? So let's just get that out of the way.
So that's clearly you and I.
Exactly. So, Dan, in our first season of All New Amazing Spider Talk, and what a season it was, you and I, we took a closer look at the Stan Lee and Steve Ditko creative run on the title. I mean, you know, after that, what else is there to talk about, right?
There's like thousands of other comics to talk about.
Exactly. So we're gonna now tell our dear audience here what they should be expecting in our soon-to-come second season of the show.
I'm so excited, Mark. We got 12 new episodes coming your way. Mark, when can people expect to hear these awesome episodes they've been waiting on bated breath for?
Well, in typical Amazing Spider Talk fashion, we're going to say the week of February 9th. Hopefully it'll be a little earlier than February 9th, but it will be no later than February 9th. How does that sound? For certainty, people.
It depends on how fast we can shake off our hangovers from the Super Bowl.
Exactly. You know, people who know me know well that I'm going to be drinking and screaming at Tom Brady to throw interceptions and break his arm. It's going to be a rough night, Dan.
We'll have an injured Mark on the show with our first episode.
No, I won't be injured. I'll just be screaming at the Patriots star player to get injured. That's all.
Mark, this is an audio podcast. You realize screaming is probably about the worst thing you could do for your voice.
That's true. Sorry. Anyway, but what else? But okay, so we got a kind of sort of date. What are we going to be talking about, Dan?
Yeah, we're going to be coming not just the John Romita Sr. run on the book that everybody wants to hear us talk about. We're going to talk about all the other things that came with John Romita Sr. joining on the book, which means pushing Spider-Man into the big time, if you will. All the things that come with being a huge pop culture hit. TV shows, toys, costumes, you name it. Spider-Man got everything when Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. put their powers together.
Yeah, and this was also a key era in terms of a lot happening in the world of comics and in the world of social commentary and how that kind of impacted the comics. And that's all going to be addressed in this season as well, Dan.
Well, I can't wait to talk about it. We're also going to be joined by some really amazing guests. We've got a few of them already on the docket, ready to go. We can't wait for you to find out who they are. Of course, any of them could drop out at any moment, but we're really excited for this season, and I think so are our guests.
We can't wait for you to find out and for us to find out.
Hey, we know. We just can't really say in case, the world happens. I mean, who knows? We could not even be here tomorrow, Mark.
That's very true, but hopefully we will be there in time for our very first episode, which we'll be calling I'm So Pretty. And Dan, I promise I won't start singing West Side Story, but I will say that this episode is going to talk about the transition from Ditko to Romita and how the book changed under Romita's visuals.
That's an apt way of putting it. So hang on for I'm So Pretty sometime the week of February 9th. Man, this seems really nebulous, but you know what? That's our style.
We wouldn't want it any other way, Dan.
No, absolutely not. So we'll see you then, but in the meanwhile, there's plenty of other places you can find us, like on our Patreon page. Mark, what are we doing on the Patreon page?
Well, we're taking your hard-earned money and we're putting it into this great show so we can guarantee you getting you some good guests. $3.99 a month, the price of a brand new comic, of course, will get you access to all of our reviews of B-book reviews, news, tidbits, mailbags, things like that. All those little extra episodes that we like to pump out in between our main season-long content. And then for $10 a month, you will get a awesome print from a guest artist. What else does Patreon give people, Dan?
Well, that's a lot of it, Mark. We got this awesome Ron Friends print on its way, but really it's about expanding our conversation. We had an awesome episode recently about Dan Slott's departure from the book that I think was really exciting, and we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff like that continuing onward. But, Mark, if I wanted to find you on the internet, not related to any of this, although I guess probably tangentially related to all this, where would I find you on the internet?
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ChasingASMblog, and you can still order my book, 100 Things Spider-Man Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die, through Triumph Books, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, all those major sites. Dan, where can we find you?
Well, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at SupSpiderTalk. That's my Spider-Man account for all the things we're talking about on the show. But if you really want to get personal and intimate with me, maybe not intimate, but personal certainly, you can go to my personal Twitter account. That's at Dan Gavosdin. And, of course, I'm always writing reviews over on SuperiorSpiderTalk.com, which you can read. I don't know. They're always there. Let's close the show out the way that we typically do with a lesson from a very dear friend of ours. Mark, what would that lesson be?
Oh, you know that lesson well, Dan. That lesson is, with great podcasts must also come the all-new Amazing Spider Talk.